Hey, Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. These guys support riders just like you. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Big Daddy, Kane, and Goat working their asses off. Have them in stock, shipping to you guys right now as we speak. Let's start with this. Now, let's just start with this. You on that. All right, clearly by this video, I heavily support Harley-Davidson in their efforts to up their game and continue on a very good path within the industry. But I'll also tell you that I'm impartial and I will criticize and critique Harley for places they are failing. And let me tell you, they are failing in one area big time. Dear Harley, listen very closely. I'm very sincere about what I'm about to say. All right. You are failing epically on connecting with your biker community, the people that have the money, that are buying your products, that are know, like, and trust you. You have some of the most loyal customers, brand loyal customers in the world. You're failing to recognize that. There comes a point where even the most brand loyal customer will leave. And let me explain. You're 10 years behind the curve. Your marketing department, no offense if you work for the marketing department, you just need to go back to marketing 101, all right? Here you go. You got companies, look at them, Apple, Samsung, DJI, to name a few. When they do use Hollywood and things like that, but they spend more of their focus on influencers, people that actually use their products and have a community that back them. When Apple, Samsung, and DJI release a new product, they have an unveiling. They invite all the influencers, all right? The influence marketers, the YouTubers, things like that, guys that have that community around them. They give them the product. They make sure that they can get the product ahead of time to test it, to add suspense to it and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying this because that's what I expect you to do to me. There's lots of good YouTube channels out there. I'm just making a point. You're not doing that. Instead, what you're doing is what you did last year, which pissed a lot of people off. It doesn't connect to us. Hollywood people don't connect to us. I don't care that you get a Hollywood celebrity and give him a brand new Harley. He doesn't need the Harley. He's got plenty of money. She doesn't ride Harleys. So what if they have one in their garage? That is not who your core customers connect to. They connect to bikers, other bikers that live, eat, and breathe the lifestyle. X Games skateboarders I saw on your YouTube channel. Great. I'm a skateboarder too, but I also ride Harleys, but it doesn't mean anything. I can't state that strongly enough. Your YouTube channel, keep it. That's great, but your videos suck. The reason I say they suck is they're overproduced and they lack information. They don't connect with your community. So just be aware of that. See what you can do to really dial that in and really show your core customers that you care. Just this channel here, we're a community, okay? We all live, eat, and breathe riding motorcycles and Harleys, and you'll see the comments and stuff like that. Me, just to give you an example, I ride a motorcycle every day as a police motorcycle officer. I also do this full time, but there you go. And we got other people that are watching this video. That's what they do, and they ride motorcycles every chance they get. You got to connect with them, and you're not doing it right. So I've already given you some examples of how to do that. I hope that you take it seriously. Oh yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back to Ultimate Motorcycle Luggage Rack Solutions. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. I know Matt Pass is chomping at the bit already. I see him there in the Google Hangout. I'm so happy to have him here. We got to listen to this, Matt, because you haven't, I don't know if you listen to this, but let's just listen to this message. This is from a listener, a millennial, and you guys will see where we're going with this episode. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack, and that's why I brought Matt Pass. He is on with us, Google Hangout Live, Google Hangout on Air. So this is the message that we all need. He makes a lot of very good points. Here we go.
Hey guys, I just want to start off by saying you guys have an excellent program, and I appreciate all you're doing to helping law-abiding bikers like myself. I just wanted to weigh in on the most recent episode you've done. I just finished listening to it. Give you some millennial perspective, as they say. I'm a 19-year-old. I'm a college student. I'm in the law enforcement track at my local college and hope to be a motors officer one day. That being said, I'm on a shoestring budget, so I ride an 88 Honda Shadow 800 that I basically put together myself. It's not a Harley, but the idea that millennials don't want Harleys is unfortunate. If you gave me a blank check, took me to a field with every motorcycle in the world, past, present, future in there, and told me I could have one for free, I, of course, would pick out a Harley because it's a Harley. Now, you could give me an exact similar bike, same class, for example, an Indian, and I would still pick a Harley because it is a Harley. Yes, I understand being raised in an environment that rides those bikes has something to do with it. My dad has an old knucklehead that he loves and takes care of, so I can understand that, but at the same time, most of the people I know don't ride Harleys. They're more into sport bikes. I think the stigma of owning a Harley isn't necessarily old white guy. It's man, someone who drinks beer, smokes cigars, works on their bikes, changes their own tires, and I identify with that heavily. There's a lack of the art of manliness going on in my generation, which is frankly disgusting. And you can disagree with me all you want and say things along the lines of gender equality, which I approve of, but same gender roles or that kind of shit. And it honestly pisses me off. I think if you're a man, you should do man stuff. And I think that Harley has aligned themselves with that idea of masculinity and Americana and fly the flag in your yard, smoke a cigar, ride your motorcycle. And I think that if they try to differ from that, they may draw in a new crowd, but I think they're also going to lose a lot of people who they have successfully advertised to in the past. I'm not white, I'm Samoan, so you can disregard that argument right there. And yeah, that's my opinion, and I understand it is an opinion, but it's an opinion of a 19-year-old who doesn't ride a Harley, but would love one. Thanks for letting me share this with you via the voicemail. It's super convenient.
Okay, we're going to dive in here, guys. We are going to dive in. I probably don't even need to tell you what this episode's going to be about. It's probably fairly clear at this point. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the 99%, large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By being part of this, by watching live, by listening to podcasts, you are part of what we call hashtag. Hashtag the biker revolution. You got it. We do have just one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up. Let us, me and Matt Pass, remote from California, take you on another wild ass ride, because it's always a wild ass ride when we got Matt Pass on. Welcome back. Yeah, you know it. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast and your high-tech redneck. We are going to dive right in. Matt Pass, thank you for being here. If you're a new listener, if you're listening in podcast format later, I do want to mention this is live. A couple things quickly, and then I'm going to give the mic here to Matt Pass for a second. If you want to get these live events, we pretty much only do them for patron members only at a particular level and above. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon is how you get there. Couple things. Make sure you're on. Not only will you get it in your patron account, you'll get a notification that we're going live in a live broadcast. You all clearly know how to do that. I also post it in the private Facebook group, which anybody who's at that mid-level and above is in the private Facebook group. And additionally, I also send out an email on our email subscriber list if you want it that way. Also, just to make sure you don't miss them, lawabidingbiker.com/live. There's a form in the upper right-hand corner. The only emails you'll get is when we are going live. So you'll kind of get it three different ways. We really try to get out, and I send out multiple emails. And if you're not signed up as a patron and you're listening to this in podcast format, we would really like to have you involved and be part of this right here, because we've got live chat going on. I got another patron, Matt Pass, on the mic remotely from California. We definitely try to get patrons involved. We've had numerous patrons over the years. Anyways, Matt Pass, maybe some haven't met you or heard past episodes. Introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit.
Hey, thanks for having me back on, Ryan. It's always fun to be on, and I love that you brought me back on to kind of add on to one of the podcasts you had me on before with a very similar topic. This is going to be a lot of fun. I stayed up probably till midnight last night after you had sent me just diving down a rabbit hole on this whole topic, and once I started looking at statistics and everything else, then my business brain took over. And who was that? You know what? I got to push pause. Who was that guy on that voicemail?
I don't know because he didn't leave his name or anything. So I've been holding that voicemail. You know when he left that, Matt? He left that on right after episode 164. And if you guys go to it, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me, because I did some research on that. Let me do this. It's giving me.
Wait, no, that's fine. Why you're doing that? And the reason I ask is because I'm excited that you played that because he was hitting on a lot of the stuff that I had made notes of. And it's going to be great to be able to refer back to what he was saying. When I bring in my stuff, I'm not going to sound alone, give it that I'm, 17 years older than the guy or whatever it is. I mean, I think that was awesome. So that's great.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I say, I had my brain is squirrel. So I had to say that before I went any further, but thanks for having me on again. It's great. I'm from California. I've been riding for a very long time. Without diving too much down that rabbit hole or diving into those weeds. Ryan's had me on a few times before. It's always enjoyable. And I'm looking forward to diving into this episode.
Yeah. Awesome, buddy. And Matt Pass, what are you currently riding, bro?
Ultra Limited. And I also have a 2006 Police Electroglide that I've started to tinker on and rip the bags off. It's going to go into paint. So I'm working on that one too. But so both Electroglides, one's Ultra Limited. And then there was a Sporty in there that I flipped and sold. And before that, it was the Triumph Rocket 3. So, and then the V-Stars and the Roadstars. And I don't know. If you're putting it on two wheels, I'll get on it. So
there you go. Perfect to have on the podcast. Patron and a motorcycle junkie like all you. I see the chat blowing up in this live event. So thank you. And if you didn't notice, if anybody wants to talk shit or disagree with Matt Pass, if you just look at the video feed, he will literally reach through there and strangle you because the guy, he doesn't work out at all or anything. He's just, he's all flabby. I mean, this guy is just, he's a machine. And me and Matt Pass have become friends. He is the one patron, no, I shouldn't say the one patron, but out of the patrons that I've, got to know really, really well, he's the one I haven't actually met in person. And
I know we got to fix that. Every time, you know what? I was around the corner from you guys when you were in Nevada.
I know, Virginia City.
It was my nephew's right before he was born. It was his baby shower, and it was planned forever, and they had to reschedule and everything else. But you were right there, literally. You weren't 3 miles away. You guys went down Geiger Pass, right?
Yeah.
That's what a bitchin' road.
Yeah,
right?
Dude. Yeah. That was nice.
So I was kicking myself. My wife was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, those guys are right around the corner. I should have just broke away and went. Yeah. I was kicking myself. I really wanted to go meet you guys.
It'll happen. It'll happen. I'm going to make it happen. And I would love to someday have you right here, like some of the other patrons, and get on these mics right in here and have some drinks. So LAB-184, we talked about, that was about 20. I don't know what we're at right now, but is Harley-Davidson going out of business in 2018? Are they closing? So we didn't really touch about their marketing. We're going to focus a little bit more on the marketing side of things today, although we're going to it's kind of a gray area and it kind of goes hand in hand. Nonetheless, a lot to talk about, but I just wanted to mention that's where that voicemail came from. lawabidingbiker.com/contact. He left that voicemail right from his computer. That's the kind of stuff that I love when people leave great messages like that. I've been holding that little gold nugget. I've got a lot that I hold because it's got to fit for the right episode. So there you go.
Hey, I remember the days, Ryan, when it was only allowed you to record like 15 seconds, and I talk fast anyways, and I always had to be like, brrr, leaving voicemails on that. What was that, back 2013? I was trying to screen, hurry up and rush it and leave you like 5 voicemails at once.
Yeah, his was 3 minutes and it kind of cut him off there at the end, but he got his point across. And if you didn't know, that YouTube or that soundbite that I played up front prior to his message, if you guys haven't seen that, that's my new serious failure is what it's called, new 2019 Harley-Davidson motorcycles, Boombox GTS. That video is blown up at 6 days old as the time of this live. It has almost 50,000 views and like 600 comments, guys. So go to the YouTube channel, check that out. I go over a whole overview. It's at the very end that I played that, where I kind of went on a rant after I'd reviewed the motorcycles and given information. So get over there and check that out. That video is blowing up. It should be number one in Google search for those terms within a couple days here. So Matt Pass, real quick, and then we will dive in. But I always love hearing about the patrons. Matt Pass is really good on the mic. He has his own podcast, so please plug your podcast because I know a lot of the audience work out and stuff. It's a hilarious. It's true, Matt Pass. So you plug it, bro.
That's fine. I appreciate that. Thanks for letting me plug it. And especially if you're listening to this in podcast format, go check it out. Just fair warning, it's definitely a character and radio persona and a hat that I put on. You'll see my personality on here, albeit passionate and very kind of people person. I'm very talkative. The rant is just different. Be prepared for a little bit of profanity and things like that. But basically what the gym rant is, it was developed after getting together with a few workout buddies, and we all noticed that we all had some common annoyances with stereotypical things in the gym, whether it's a guy wearing a street bikini tank top and broga pants or women dressing like they're about to go to a club. There were certain things that really made us upset or we just thought was ridiculous. So I thought, where Lab can be the voice of the majority of the motorcycle majority, why can't the gym rant be the majority of voice of the gym floor? Basically, the people that pay their membership dues and keep the dang on lights on. They're the ones who do it. They keep the bathrooms clean and everything else. The 1% of gym douchebags, they don't. So you can join me weekly on the Gym Rant. You can check me out at the Gym Rant on Instagram, at the Gym Rant on Facebook, or go to thegymrant.com. That's thegymrant.com. You can find out how many different podcast platforms we're available on, and you can join me on weekly rants about the common annoyances found every day in your most frequented gym environments. And that's my plug.
Awesome, dude. And you can tell how passionate he is. Even if you're not huge into working out, I listen in, and it just, because I know Matt too, but man, he can hold his own, and it's intense and it's funny, and it's kind of like he explained it. You just get over there and listen. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's do this because what do we got going on in chat, and then we will start really breaking this down. And if you see something that's very worthy, Matt Pass, I know we're going to be talking. It is hard to monitor everything, but it says Ross Tomes says, and I said his name right. Ross Tomes, because I always screw it up. But Ross, I'm glad you're here, buddy. Always a great guy to have in the chat. But most millennials are just getting out of their parents' basements. Thanks, Pres Trump. They don't have the money to credit to afford Harley costs. There you go. So we're going to have lots of comments, and we got David Schwartz there from Israel. Shout out Israel, all that kind of stuff.
Howdy.
Yeah, I love the patrons so much. I think that we ought to thank these guys. What do you say, Matt? You got it up there? You want to do it, or you want me to?
Let's see here. First bullet point, right?
Yep. You do all of them.
Sure. It's Michael White is that Rowville, Australia? Hopefully I'm saying that right. We have Bert Foy of Calgary, Alberta. We have Victor Ricardo, and that was a very, very Caucasian way of saying that, I'm sure. Benson, Washington. Also, we have Craig Corbin of Yakima, Washington. Top tier.
Right
awesome.
Here.
Awesome. Chris, hope I'm not butchering this, Chris Hadap of Lompoc, California. Been to Lompoc a few times. Michael Young of Edmonds, Washington. Also, Tony, heaven help me, Yazedi, or Izedi, sorry if I'm butchering that, of Wanaki, New Jersey. Top tier. Tony, awesome. Bob Allen of Edgewater, Minnesota. Steve Anderson of Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Yeah, and Bob Allen that's all right, you were reading one head, that's fine. It was Maryland. Bob Allen of Maryland.
Maryland.
No biggie. Thanks, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you. You can put a monthly cap so you don't go over your budget. Of course, access, t-shirts, stickers, access to the private Facebook group. These live events up to 4 purchase premium videos up on request. So, yeah, cool. And we will be monitoring the chat, guys. So let's dive in. Matt Pass, thanks for doing a patron thanking patrons. How cool is that? Yeah, right on, dude.
I love it when we meet each other. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I did. I know. All right, cool. So we've got, let's just start of the current state of affairs. We're not going to try to go too long. We're already 25 in or close to there. But there's a lot to unpack, and with comments that it may go a little long, guys. But we know you'll stick with us if you can. So let's just start here with the current state of affairs. I'll just open it up, and then I'll let you kind of go in from there, Matt. Before we get into marketing, because that's a big concern of mine, and I told Matt up front, he's free always to speak his mind. Anybody that ever comes on this podcast, and you guys know that about me, it's okay to disagree. He may though. I don't know, but I just want you guys to know, I emailed him. I said, dude, feel free you form your own opinion. These are just my thoughts. And I'm always open to hearing other guys' thoughts and opinions and people in the chat and that kind of stuff. Cause maybe something that concerns me doesn't concern you. So marketing, I definitely want to hit on that. That's one of my big things, but we'll kind of move down to that. We talked about the current market. We've all seen a shift. I think I have. In Harley-Davidson, probably since it started in, not so bad in 2014, but you could see they came out with the Rushmore bikes. They clearly in 2014 realized that they had to do something different, that what they were doing, whether it be marketing, whether it be the quality of their product, the rideability of their products, the dependability of those products, their motorcycles mostly, of course, they realized they had to make a change. So they did put a lot of money and R&D and development into the Rushmore project. We got the new frames. We got the bikes that ride a lot smoother, all that kind of stuff, a lot more dependable. We got the boombox infotainment system, which we all know that's a rabbit hole. You guys follow the channel and this podcast realize the debacle with the boombox system that's ongoing. They have a new one now in 2019 called the GTS. I have a video and edit. I tested it and reviewed it for you guys. That will be out on the YouTube channel, hopefully within a couple of days, but it's just getting started in edit. So they had all this. Then it seemed like maybe to me like 16. So they did the bikes. They got a lot. People were happy. Everybody's buying 14 and on. We all, that kind of stuff. And then it seemed like it started to shift where then the Milwaukee 8 came out too, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So a whole new motor. So they're not only developing the Rushmore project, but I guarantee they were working on the Milwaukee 8 at the time the Rushmores came out. It just wasn't ready for prime time would be my guess. So a couple years later, we get the Milwaukee 8. So they're definitely upping their production game. Then we started getting in, the first was the 750 Street series, the 500 Street series. We started getting even some Sportsters models that were outside what Harley had been doing. And so we started to see this shift that they were clearly trying to target a different market, that they were trying to have a broader spectrum of bikes. A lot of that can be attributed, and then I'm going to give it to, I could keep going on. A lot of that can be attributed to, what we talked about in episode 164, is this older generation of brand, we're going to talk brand loyal. Like Harley has some of the most brand loyal. It's like Apple, right? It's because they are quality products. So they have one of the biggest brand loyal audience. Who else, what other industry will somebody pay, buy a $50 t-shirt just because it has a Harley logo on it? And I'm wearing one while we talk here. Okay. That's unheard of. There's only a few companies that can pull that off, and people will gladly pay it as they travel around. That's just one example, of that brand loyal. So what I was getting back to is that attributed to us and this, I'm 45, that core customer, which still is their core, in my opinion, starting to get older and die off, and they're not able to reach the 20-year-olds. And so they start developing these different bikes. You can clearly see that I'm going to dog on Harley a little bit, but I also give them credit because at least they're doing something. Whether they're doing it perfect, they're doing something. Let's talk about that and unpack that a little bit, Matt. Hopefully that spurred something for you. Let's kind of stick and not get quite into marketing too deep, except that your thoughts on this shift and this change, and just go from there, bud.
All right. If we're starting to unpack right there at the shift, because I definitely want to go down the marketing rabbit hole later. So starting there, I find that's a great place to start. I think they are 15 years too late on their shift. I think they should have done it 15 years ago. I don't think they're wrong for their shift. And in fact, I know a lot of people are angry about it, but I'll bring up some other points in a minute after we kind of have some banter back and forth here. But the shift is good from a business perspective, and they should have done it. They should have done it a little while ago, and we're kind of seeing some of the negative effects of what's going on since they did it so late. A lot of the negative reviews and a lot of the negative feedback that they're getting because of the shift should have been dealt with and hashed out 10, 15 years ago before everything was viral and everybody could communicate on, basement vlogs or blogs and everything else. You know what I mean? So I really think that they should have grabbed a hold of the change a long time ago. They've made some great moves with buying the dirt bike company and everything else. And obviously we're seeing a lot of that engineering. We're seeing a lot of that innovation in what's going on. I'll put a pin in it there, but my opinion is that it's good. From high level, it's good. It's good for the company. I just think they're behind the mark and they should have done it a long time ago. What say you?
Yeah. So what you're saying is not necessarily the marketing piece, but what you're saying is they should have did Rushmore Project 10 years ago. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm saying, and I'm not talking about Livewire. I'm not talking about the electric bike. Okay. I'm talking about the dirt bikes, the one that's coming out in 2020. What is it? The Pan America? Is it 2020 or 2019? 2020. Pan America? Yeah. I think that should have been out when Ewan McGregor and and the other guy were doing, around the world, or long way down and long way round and things like that. And they should have been a part of that. When they were looking towards BMW or KTM to sponsor them and things like that. What I'm saying is Harley's doing a lot of great things with some of these newer models that everyone's ragging on. That's actually a good thing to be more innovative and branching out, because a lot of your traditional riders and your traditional quote unquote Harley riders are getting older and things like that. So you definitely got to branch out. Doesn't mean that Harley's not paying attention to, the big heavy cruiser guys. It just means they're doing other things. And so what? And like I said, I have comments and can dive deeper down on every single one of those. The Mountain Rushmore, that for big heavy cruisers and things like that, absolutely. I don't have a comment or opinion that particularly should have happened at a different time, because I think that comes with technology and everything else and release. I think branching into different markets, and different brands of bikes, enduros, things like that, multi-sports should have happened a long time ago. And yes, I know they try to do it with Buell and things like that, but that's a marketing conversation, a failure. We can have it at a different time of this podcast. Good.
Thanks for cleaning that up for me, because I was just trying to figure out, exactly where you're going with that. Yeah, you're right. I definitely agree. I hadn't really thought about that, that they should have been, I was kind of focused more on the marketing and the Rushmore, but you're absolutely right, that, they should have started earlier. They were behind the curveball, but the thing about Harley is they have been able to survive doing the business the way they did business, how they wanted to do business for many, many years without having to really push the envelope, because they didn't have a lot of competition, and they didn't have, like I said, they have some of the most absolutely brand loyal, enthusiastic people that will die Harley.
They do.
Regardless of what Harley does. So people will say it's good. There are those people out there,
Yeah, of course. And they'll always be there. And like I said, everyone's always going to like Harley. But we're looking at an ivory tower issue here. When I say an ivory tower issue, you have a guy per se. Now, obviously, it's a company-wide problem. But I believe when I say an ivory tower issue, is you have a guy up in a tower that's basically not paying attention to the ever-changing market. And because Harley-Davidson's an anomaly and it survives so many different things, and it will continue to survive, you have a huge, horrible case of, but that's the way we've always done it. Famous last words of any company. It's the way we've always done it. It's the way we've always done it. And all of a sudden, you wake up, you step outside and go, hey, when the hell did they build a McDonald's across the street? Well, you were in your office the whole time. You didn't pay attention to innovation that was happening around you. Yeah, this town has 20,000 people in it now, not 3,000. Where have you been? Makes sense?
Yeah, totally, man. Good points. Not making changes and having your head in the sand, that's total government, and that works for government, unfortunately, but for private industry, it just can't. Do you think, Matt, that if they had not, obviously they're struggling, we'll get a little bit deeper into that a little bit. Do you think that they would have, if they not started making some drastic changes in 14, that they literally would have went under?
No, because HD is an American icon. I think it's proven. Harley-Davidson has survived so many times throughout. I'm not going to go name them all. GTS. I always say Google that shit, right? But you can look up and see. It's facts. You can find it. Harley-Davidson has beat the statistics over and over and over again. So I would say yes and no. to that as far as changing gears and, making some adjustments from 2014. It's caused just as much havoc as it has benefits, if you think about it, as far as reputation and good and bad press. So I think that it was good that they started changing things up, but I don't think that's exactly what saved the company. Their base is still what's saving the company.
Right. Yeah. Good call. Good call. I agree with you. They have downsized, as far as
plant.
Right.
Yeah.
They close a plant. Kansas City's closing at the end of this year. We didn't get to tour. We were over there this year on our Midwest ride, our 10-day 4,500. And that was kind of a bummer. We're getting some comments in here, Andy. I'm just going to read them here and there. If Harley gets these young kids on these new inexpensive models, they will be Harley riders for life and buy expensive touring bikes when they get older. Good point. Thanks for weighing in there, Andy Van Veen, in the private chat there. So, and I think they would have been a lot worse off, in my opinion, if they had not started innovating. But I agree with you that they somehow would have survived. It just would have been a lot graver situation.
Well, we're not talking about a chicken shit downgrade here. We're not talking about chicken shit numbers. We're talking, where's my notes here? 40% drop in just a quarter. That's 114.1 million to 68.2.
Why is that, do you think?
Gee,
is it everything we're talking about, or because they're being innovative? They're being innovative right now.
They are, and like I said, my that's good. And like I said, my opinion on the innovation is not only is there is this where we transition to marketing, Ryan? I don't know.
Not quite.
Not quite yet. Okay,
we can dabble, but that's going to take up a little time.
Yeah. So I believe that it has to do with marketing, and we'll dive into that in a little while. As well as being behind the curve as far as innovation. They should have been doing it when Roadstar was kicking the shit out of them with the 1700cc bike for under $15,000, completely chromed out, like a deluxe was. They should have been listening then. When all of my friends started not caring about the logo, when I was 21 years old, they should have been listening then. We've talked about this before, but those listening that don't know, I've had Harleys and all kinds of motorcycles growing up, dirt bikes, ATCs, quads, Harley-Davidsons. My dad rides, I ride, my uncles ride, my cousins ride, motocross, the whole nine. Here's the thing. We stopped giving a rat's because we were always wrenching on the Harleys and things like that. And we started riding Yamahas for years. I was a star-only guy for a very, very long time. And actually it wasn't until 2010, 2011, where I'm like, okay, they're getting their shit together, right? And they started appealing to me again. So, I think it has a lot to do with innovation and being late, because that is right there around the time.
Yeah, good information. I appreciate that. I think, here's the deal. What, we look right now, with that said, I totally yawns in here in the chat. He says, HD may survive just because we will make them survive because of all the history, et cetera. People will make them survive. Again, I don't think they're on the verge because they are doing a lot of things. They really don't have any competition. I say that lightly because I know there's people out there that totally disagree. I'm just looking at it from a factual standpoint. I mean, you have Indian. Indian's a great bike. There's patrons that have Indians. People around here at Law-Abiding Biker Media we have a few Indians floating around. They're a great bike. I have nothing against them. Love them. If I had the money, I'd have one of every bike. But that's owned by Polaris, which is a bigger, more vague company than Harley. At least Harley sticks to motorcycles. Polaris, you've got snowmobiles, ATVs, side by sides. How much do you think they're going to
military contracts? They're huge in military contracts.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that.
I interviewed for a job one time, didn't get it, probably a good thing, but to be basically a rep, military sales rep for off-road vehicles. Yeah, they're huge into that contracts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they're a good company, and they make, they took over the Indian, and it, like I said, they'll probably make a quality product, but I don't think Polaris is going to do. I think Harley will end up doing a better job, as we hash some of this stuff out and as they go into the future connecting with customers more than Indian, just because Indian's it's such a small piece of sand in their company. How much are they gonna invest in catering to?
How much do they care?
They don't care, is my opinion. That's my humble
lifestyle. You might have a few employees. It's one vertical, apple in the cart, one vertical of their of their whole business. Doesn't mean their product's shit. It just means I always say, don't serve two masters. Focus on what you do best, right? And you're always going to have better service.
Yeah, right. Nice. Yeah. I just think that that's going to be, and then we're talking about other competition. I mean, yeah, you have, there's just not anything exactly. I mean, yeah, you have Honda, you got Goldwing, you got some stuff, you got some Kawasaki stuff, which are great bikes. I have no problem with any of them. I know some people that ride them, but it's kind of a different, they're the same, but they're not, to me. It's just, it's different in a lot of ways. So it's hard to make a straight across comparison between, one model, to a Harley. That's just my opinion without going down that road. But so they do have some competition. And Victory went out the door. So they got rid of that competition, which I'm sure they were happy about because that was giving them a little bit of competition. Now, the state of the economy, is really good right now. And I want to go down this subject matter a little bit. The economy's doing well, from an objective standpoint without getting political or, going down that rabbit hole. But, the economy in general is doing very well. We've got stuff going on with the tariffs. One of the things that I watched some videos on YouTube, and I didn't get into the background of who they worked for or, what agenda they were trying to push, but nonetheless, it had some valid points. And so with the tariffs going on, they're going to have to, Harley's already admitted that they are, they're closing the Kansas City plant. They're going to move a lot of their operations. And I'm going to pull this up here because I have a link, Matt. They're going to move some of their operations overseas. And here we go. So here's their actual manufacturing plants. Now they still list Missouri, Kansas City. That'll be done at 2018, so you can scratch that. They got Pennsylvania, York. They got Wisconsin, Menominee Falls. They got Wisconsin Tomahawk operations. Yeah, so some of them are different powertrain operations. And then overseas, abroad, we got Australia, Brazil, India, and Thailand. Those are some big markets for them over there. And I'm not huge into understanding everything about tariffs, but I do know, because I did want to touch on this in this episode, they're moving those operations. They've got to look at a financial standpoint, and it pisses a lot of Harley guys off because Harley is, like you've already mentioned it, Matt, is all about, and the message that we got, all about, America, American made, their rich history, the struggles they've been through. A lot of the bikes were used in the wars and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it's just got a stigma to it. And that alone has pissed a ton. It's another thing they're up against, is pissing off their core customers who are kind of us right now, guys. We all live, eat, and breathe this lifestyle and love riding. And we're all in here together on a, Thursday night chatting and doing a live event. That's how much we're into it. Now, a lot of those Harley guys, are they going to stick around or are they going to get pissed? They don't have a lot of places to go, but nonetheless, maybe they'll hang it up. Who knows? But here on Harley's defense on this, I want them to keep it in America too, as much as possible. And I think they're working on that. And just understand, and we can all argue, you get the guys, we ban them from the, once in a while they get on there, they're just Harley haters on the YouTube or something, all their parts are made in overseas. Of course they are. Brakes are made. That's just standard. But the motors and, the core of the bike is still American made when you buy an American made model. And that's what I'm getting to on the tariffs, is they're moving a lot of those operations overseas, not to have them manufactured and bring the bikes back here. They're moving those operations overseas, like India, so that the bikes that they do make over there, they can make them for way cheaper and they can sell them to that market over there at a much reduced price, which allows them to sell more bikes. Right now, if they build them all in America and try to get them with the tariffs over to those countries, it'll put Harley out of business. I mean, financially, they can't do that. So that's why and I listened to this, I believe he was the CEO of Harley a lot, a couple of videos and stuff. And he came out and said a lot of that stuff. And they're not planning on manufacturing them overseas and bringing them back again, just for over there. So I hope that helps a lot of people understand that that's a company move. And I can't really fault Harley for that. What do you say about all that, Matt?
I think it's simple. I think that it's easy to have an opinion on this sort of thing, but I'm going to ask you this. are you going to accept the same job offer a state away or a 4 or 5, 6 hour drive and say, go ahead and get to work every day? You're going to pay for my gas? And we're going to say no. Say, well, why the hell would I do that? It's the same thing, right? And is it really a big problem if there's Harley USA, Harley Asia, Harley United Kingdom, Harley Australia? Do you see what I'm saying? Is that really a problem for everybody? I mean, I actually don't even think that Harley-Davidson would lose any type of brand loyalty if they started calling themselves something like that where they're located. Assemble it over there, make it over there. I personally don't care. Who cares? Right? I mean, how long ago was it that Harley-Davidson actually sold the blueprints to their bikes to, was it China or Japan? And that's where metric bikes came from. I don't know if anybody knows that. But that's where metric bikes came from. They were modeled after an actual Harley. So this isn't new. It's just everybody's a genius now with Google. So, I mean, and everybody winds up forming opinions. You just got to stop back, listen, and go, what really makes sense, right? You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with it. That's what I say.
Right, good. And I'm getting a lot of chat in here. I think for the most part here, people are agreeing, Dave McCall says, no different than what the Bid 3 already do. Build them where you sell them. That's just good business, says Dan Dockery. So thanks, guys, for piping in there on that. So the other thing, since we're talking about that before we move on, Matt, is, a lot of the comments on my 2019 Harley model overview, a lot of the comments coming in, I'm drawing a lot from that because those are just, bikers speaking their mind. Yeah. So a lot of guys are saying that it's just to the point that Harley is outpricing. Before we get, into marketing, they're outpricing themselves. They're, when you're looking at, 27, 28 for a Street Glide special. I was in the dealership yesterday because I was testing and filming the new Boombox GTS and chilling there, and they right out of the crate pulled in a new CVO, 2019 CVO Street Glide, and it was like that sticker's like 43. So a beautiful bike, by the way. I use the Boombox and stuff on it, but are they getting to a point? And I don't know how you fix that. And somebody mentioned it in the thread earlier or the comments. If we can get because not all their bikes are that expensive. You can get into the streets and the Sportsters, and things like that. So I guess I'm digging your brain. Are they outpricing themselves, or they have a broad enough array of bikes and price ranges that's going to appeal to
Not
everybody?
Anymore. They were. I'm going to be the first one to admit it. That's what I hated about it. That's why I was with Star for a long time. I didn't think the quality versus quantity or product wasn't there. But show me a competitive CVO. Show me an apples to apples comparison of what a competitor's bike version of a CVO is.
Right.
Where is it? What, a Goldwing maybe? A Goldwing's, that's a whole different, I'm not going to say lifestyle, but a whole different thing. I have nothing against the Goldwing. I'll probably be riding one day. I'll be dead honest with you. I want air conditioning and reverse. Okay. That's what I want. Okay. I want a massage chair as I'm going down the road here in the next 45 years. Okay. But I'm just saying, right? I'm sorry. It was just a little pun and joke there for the Goldwing riders out there. But seriously, okay. I'm not going to go into a Yamaha or a Ducati or a Honda, and I'm not going to find their version of a CVO anywhere. So until they start making them, charge 45, 46, 48, 43 grand. I don't care. But to your point, Ryan, Harley has absolutely done a phenomenal job of having different grade level bikes. When there was a huge miss between what you get with a metric bike solution, right? Or that brand versus the Harley. Now Harley's done a damn good job. They're right there within market and comparison. I mean, when Yamaha gave it up right around releasing the Yamaha Bolt, it's kind of like what you would see with the 48, right? Or the sporty version, right? It's this bobber looking thing. Right around then, right when those started coming out, Harley really started slamming them with these different models, and they were affordable. So if you were going to be drawn more towards that Yamaha Bolt, but you can get a Harley for around the same price, I was starting to see people go towards Harley again because they still want it. And I'm going to put a pin in it there because that brings me to another point I'm going to make a little bit later. But yeah, so I think that I don't think they're not outpricing themselves anymore because they are a brand and they are a good brand. They're not the secondary brand. They are still the leader. So they still can be $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 more expensive. They're not $10,000 more expensive anymore unless it's a damn CVO. So what? So what?
Right. And I fall back on my point about the economy is really good right now. I'll tell you that CVO, because I know those guys down there at the dealership really well. I said, well, this won't last a day. And I guarantee they'll sell that bike within 2 days. Somebody with, cash will walk in there with money. And they always do. They never have a problem with the CVO models. In the new FXDR 114, I don't know if you've had a look at that. I talked about it on my overview.
Saw that. Yeah.
It, coming in at 22 almost thousand. That's really a specialty bike. Without getting too much into that, who that's going to appeal to, but just that bike alone, they've already got a waiting list. They don't even have one at the dealership. And I told them, call me ASAP when you get it, because I want to ride it and film it. And they got a waiting list of 5 guys that are ready to drop cash the minute it comes in the door. So,
yeah, yeah. And to that point, just to add a little bit of a pepper to that, if we, as far behind all the mistakes that they make, putting that aside of whatever we think they're failing, if we do not admit that Harley-Davidson probably still does have some extremely intelligent, ridiculously smart people working for them, it would be asinine for me to assume that a specialty bike like that at that price, they're not sitting back going, we're probably not going to put a huge amount of these into the production line because we probably are not going to sell a ton of them. We're not going to sell as many of these as we are the Street Glide or the Street Glide Special. If someone's not sitting back and doing that, then yeah, they're dumb. But I guarantee you there's someone at the corporate headquarters smart enough to make that analysis. You see what I'm saying?
Totally. And and with the market good right now, I think they're going to do fine. I do worry just a little bit before we move on to our next topic here. Not topic, but we'll relay off that and get into marketing a little bit. But, if the economy did take a dive at some point with bikes priced like that, that's where they could run into a hiccup. But I'm sure they're milking it for everything that they can right now while times are good. And like I say, there's waiting lists for a lot of those bikes. Let's do this real quick. The reason we survive, of course, right here, is because of our patrons and our sponsors. We love our sponsors. That's right, guys. Rick Rack. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep. And these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. And don't forget, guys, we did a lot of, it's great. I used it this year, the Rick Rack quick detach luggage system on my Street Glide on our 12-state 4,500 cross-country motorcycle trip. Can have it off in like 15 seconds with all my gear and stuff. Don't forget, it's not just for that. They have it for the full touring. So that quick detach will go right on the top of your trunk. So you'll not only have all the space in your Harley trunk, you'll have another quick detach. Because if you put stuff up there, you guys all know your lids get heavy. Well, that's no problem, because that's why it's quick detach. Within 10, 15 seconds, you can just pop the luggage and you have a whole nother trunk with that Rick Rack system. And if you do need to open your trunk and you don't want to let it hang, you can get rid of that bag really quick. So don't forget about that. Of course, all over in our store, and we thank them. Those guys have just been awesome to us, which means they've been awesome to you guys because they support this community and definitely involved. So, Matt Pass.
Yeah.
What is, and the reason I brought Matt Pass on, you don't have to give your whole life story, but Matt Pass, clearly he's worked in marketing. Is that fair to say? I don't know all your jobs, but you've done marketing.
Yeah, business development and marketing. Yeah, I've shared different responsibilities, whether I was 90% focused on marketing and 10% new business development, or 90% maintaining a business, acquiring new business. And of course, with that came marketing and working really closely with the marketing departments and collaborating. So yeah, whether it was corporate America, or smaller businesses. Yeah.
Nice. And so I bring Matt on here because he does have a pretty face and I love looking at him, but he actually had, a lot of smarts because I knew that he had that kind of background. And I thought he would be perfect all the way around for this, what we're going to dive into now. So let's start here. What, in your opinion, and I'm kind of throwing you on the spot, I have my ideas and I think they're going to be in line, but what is Harley's demographics right now? What is their core audience? What does their target audience look like as far as age and gender and lifestyle and that right now? Not after they're going after, but what is it right now?
Are you asking me what do I think the majority of Harley riders are as far as demographic, or are you asking me who are they targeting? Good. Or are you asking me who is Harley going after currently?
Good call, because that was kind of confusing. Let's talk about not who they're going after, but who right now is their core customer that is feeding them money and keeping them alive.
Okay, so I have two different answers, and the reason being is there's a little switch I can't turn off on my business development side. It's always on, right? If a customer called me at 8:00 at night, I'm answering the phone. I'm gonna have a conversation with them because that's what I do, right? So if I work for Harley-Davidson right now, right, and I don't, right, but when you ask me a question like that, I automatically put myself in that seat, and I'm going to say my target and the people that I'm going after are the people who are feeding us money is anybody who is old enough and able enough to get on two wheels and pay for that Harley-Davidson and ride it out of the dealership. That is period. Who is actually doing that is a different story, right? Or who has actually done that in the past 10 years is a completely different story. Right? So who do I think are the ones that are actually taking out their wallet and putting it into the Harley-Davidson business piggy bank as far as acquiring their products and things like that? I still think they have their base, right? They absolutely have their base. And we're also seeing, and no one's paying attention to it, a whole new generation of people buying used Harley-Davidsons, right? And I'm going to dive into that a little bit later, but did my answer make enough sense, or should I?
No, it did. It did. Tell me this, because I'm gonna break it down a little bit further, okay, and piggyback off that. So I love your shirt, by the way, bro. It's
a mullet. It's because I don't have hair, dude. I went thin. I finally started bicking it, just over a year ago. But if you're listening on podcast form, you can't see it. I got this really tacky bald eagle with this MacGyver mullet and this American flag bandana. Oh, my wife's laughing in the next room. She's totally laughing right now. And he got these aviator, stereotypical 1980s chipper motor cop sunglasses on. So I got it at Wally World.
Dude, I love it. I want one. I was going to say, if you have another one, dude, tell me where to get it. I'll be going down to Walmart tonight. Ross Tomez.
My wife bought this for me.
She did. Nice, dude. Nice. I'd proudly wear that. Ross Tomes in chat says, Ryan, if the Hollywood assholes get a free Harley, you should qualify for one too. Thanks, Ross. Appreciate that. We are going to dive.
I'm ready for that. I'm still angry about that. We can't talk about that yet.
See, you're getting Matt excited. And we're going to get there on that stuff. So to piggyback off what you said, right now I believe their core audience, because it's a lot of the same demographics as my core audience, law-abiding biker media, right? We kind of cater right now to the same group. Now, this is just what I see, because we have statistics, and I don't dive in them deep, but I'm smart enough to know that a lot of our audience is between the ages, and there's younger, of course, and there are older, but I'm telling you a majority, you're talking between 30 years old and somewhere around 65 years old. Okay. It's male. And I don't break it down any farther than that as far as races or anything like that, but definitely that is our market right now. And that's a majority, I would say, of listeners. We do have females too, of course. And so I don't want to leave anybody. I'm just trying to tell you guys, that's probably in a nutshell.
This effort of equality is failing miserably, Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So that is, and I think that it's fair to say that's Harley-Davidson's who's feeding them the most money right now. Now, like we said, that could change because you have the older generation dying off and maybe they're not interested in $30,000 bikes, or maybe they're more interested in more economical bikes or smaller bikes for around town for commuting purposes. We can unpack that a little bit too, but I think that's fair to say that's my opinion of right now. And they're going to have to change. And that's going to lead us right into what we're talking about, which we're going to get into marketing a little bit, and where I see them failing hardcore and where I see that they could do a whole bunch better with that. So, and I'd want to mention that dealerships, we got some comments on that YouTube video, which were really good comments, that you're right. The dealerships, to a certain level, some dealerships, there's still a lot of dealerships. We visit a lot of dealerships, especially on our recent motorcycle trip and our trip. We're stopping at dealerships all over the place, guys. And I will tell you that dealerships are as diverse as as motorcycle riders. There are some really good dealerships like mine. There are some dealerships that do good marketing. There are a lot of jerks and assholes that work at dealerships too. Just like any profession, just like any industry, guys. So when we're talking about marketing, we're specifically, Matt, going to keep it to the motor company, the headquarters. They're the ones that are calling. Good, yeah. A lot of dealerships are doing marketing on their own terms, and they're doing the best they can. So I'm just talking about the big kahuna Harley-Davidson people. Okay. So here you go. This is Harley currently doing marketing correct? And do you want to start or you want me to start?
Well, I don't want to steal. I know you have one specific vertical.
It doesn't matter.
I don't want to steal your thunder.
I've already said it on the YouTube. I've already said it on the tube you, man, on the tube you. So you feel free. I'll piggyback off whatever you say.
Okay. So I think I want to bore everybody just with a little bit of basic statistics when it comes to like YouTube and different things like that. Okay. If you just bear with it for a little bit, it all makes sense into the next rant I go on to, I swear to God. So just a little bit of YouTube stats for you. Okay. So 6 out of 10 people refer to online video platforms than live TV. So what does that mean? 60% of people, if you had 100% of people that watch TV, now 60% of them do online videos, period. And that's it. All right. So that's statistics. They say by 2025, half of viewers under 32 won't subscribe to TV at all. All right. Just in 2015 alone, people 18 to 49 years old spent about 5% less time watching TV, and YouTube went up 75%, and it keeps going up 75% the next year and 75% the next year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. This is all going to make sense here in a minute. Okay. On mobile devices alone, YouTube reaches people between the ages of 18 and 49 to 55 years old than any other broadcast, cable TV, any type of video type platform. It reaches more than any other broadcasting network out of there. And of course, it's available in 76 different languages, 88 different countries, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So obviously, before I go down that road a little bit more, I'm getting kind of to Ryan's point as far as influencers and things like that. And it definitely matters. It definitely matters. You're talking about the world's largest search engine and most visited site outside of Google and Facebook. Okay. We're not talking about some chicken shit commercial site or anything else like that. YouTube has kind of taken over the world in so many different aspects. Over 400 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. 400 hours, over 400 hours. That's ridiculous.
It's crazy, dude. I love these stats because you're so right, and I'm so glad you brought this into the mix, man. So keep going. Man.
Well, yeah. So so one of these other stats, and this is more of the YouTube usage stats, is we watch over 1 billion hours of YouTube videos a day. Not a month, not a week. 1 billion hours. That's not just clicking on something for 30 seconds and then clicking away. 1 billion hours are fully watched every single day. That's more than Netflix and Facebook, Instagram, all that shit combined. Okay. More than half of the YouTube views come from mobile devices, right? And the average mobile viewing session is more than 40 minutes. So there was this huge stigma out there that if you don't capture someone in the first 3 seconds, blah, 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 that has completely changed. Someone will sit and watch their phone for 40 minutes until they realize, It happens to people when they go to the bathroom at my house. I'm like, hey, what are you doing in there? Like, sorry, I'm on my phone. Like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, dang. But, and then how-to videos are growing 70% year over year. I put that statistic in there when I saw it just for you, Ryan, on your how-to videos. So year after year, how-to tutorial videos have grown in search engine optimization year over year over year on YouTube alone. So it's freaking insane. It's absolutely insane. Last few statistics for you guys, and I will stop boring everybody, is 60% of YouTube users are male. Very similar to Harley-Davidson. There's a 9% of all small businesses are on YouTube. 35 plus to 55 plus age groups are the fastest growing YouTube demographic. I'm going to say those ages again. 35 and 55 plus years of age are the fastest growing YouTube demographic.
And that's because they've already got the younger ones. They're already hooked.
That's right. And now it's evolve or die, right? And I'll get into evolve or die in a second. Let's see here. 18 to 35 demographic. Oh, so 30% of coveted, age 18 to 34 demographic are binge watching. Now, if you don't know what binge watching is, that means you watch an episode, you watch another one. You click on Law Abiding Biker, you watch one video, then you watch another one, you watch another one, you watch another one.
Both of my daughters, bro. Both of my daughters, 8 and 13, binge watch.
Oh, yeah. So, and the reason I bring that up is because it's going to have a lot to do. All this boring stuff goes into marketing. All of it goes into marketing. And you basically what you want to do is you want to see how these trends match up with your core demographic, right? So if you look at the internet users who use YouTube as of January 2018, 95% of them were between 25 and 34. And you had still 70% of people were 65 to 75, and 80% were 55 to 64 years old. So these are a lot of people, no matter what age. And I guess that's the point I'm making here. To kind of dive into the next thing, no matter what age or status or whatever. And you can take someone that's 18 years old, see people that are 18 years old all the way to 65, 75 years old, and you're going to have a lot of different income variations, a lot of different opinions, a lot of different hobbies, and they're all on YouTube, every single one of them. So why the hell aren't you existing there, right? So that kind of brings me to, and then I'm going to pause here because I'm going to let you take it from there, Ryan, is, oh my gosh, Harley-Davidson's YouTube channel sucks.
Oh, thank you, bro. Leave it. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Just one more thing with that, because here's the thing. Do it.
Here's
the thing. Okay, one last thing, and
typical corporate company don't know what they're doing.
Right, I know you're gonna take this and run with it. So I'm gonna leave you with this little bit of information. 10,000 to 200,000 YouTube subscribers are considered micro influencers. Okay, you're a micro influencers, and 1 million plus is considered YouTube famous or an official influencer. Okay. The reason I bring that up is Harley-Davidson's YouTube channel has 157,000 only. Out of 8 million motorcycles that are registered in the United States, Harley-Davidson, and over 1 million, dang, you got me started. There's over 1 million Harley owner group members alone.
How many?
Over 1 million.
Wow.
That belong to Hog. I didn't make that up. Look it up. I swear to God, I checked multiple resources, and their YouTube channel has 157,000 subscribers, and people that are 75 years old, 80% of them watch YouTube.
Right.
I'm done. I'm dropping the mic, Ryan. What are you thinking?
I know.
What are you thinking?
And
damn.
It's typical corporate companies, and Harley doesn't know what they're doing. And I do want to say thank you for the stats, because it's super important as we dive in deeper. I just want to let you guys know, subscribers is the amount of subscribers a channel has is a vanity metric, and everybody in the industry will tell you that it's a vanity metric. The reason is it's good to have subscribers. It's social proof, but that's good. You're right in every sense, though. So I'm going to tag team
1
off
million
that.
just Harley Group owners, anywhere from the ages of 35 to 75 years old. They all got a smartphone.
Right, exactly. And YouTube is taking a shift. It's all really about watch time now. So, because a lot of channels got a lot of subscribers and then they stop doing cool stuff and people just don't unsubscribe. So YouTube doesn't give a shit. They care about watch time. Are people watching your videos, or are they staying watching your videos? That's a really quick lesson. I have to follow all this stuff very closely because of how I do stuff for the channel. But nonetheless, you've hit it, and I am going to rant in a second.
Awesome.
But first we got to do this because these guys are bikers just like you guys and care about you, so they sponsor the show. That's right, Zero 3D. Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome, lighting, and comfort products. They got black stuff too, not just chrome. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing, more time riding, which is what it's all about, guys. Zero 3D has a design team. They really do, with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. I've got to know a couple of those guys over there. Amazing. These guys are bikers, care about bikers just like you. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them. Email sales@zero3d.com or give them a call, 715-808-0027. Zero 3D is distributed in the United States by Drag Specialties, in Europe by Parts Europe, and Zodiac, and in Asia by Twin Art. Check at your local Harley dealership. Ask for Zero Parts. Better yet, help support us right here. Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products. All right, so hey, Matt, you got to do it, because if you haven't heard his podcast, you got to give me the thing.
What's
the rant on thing?
Oh, and that's all I really got to say to that. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I love you as always. A freaking rant on.
Yeah, here's my rant. Okay. Okay, guys, I got passionate in my video up front. You guys heard it. And then Matt can piggyback off me. I get passionate about this because I want Harley to succeed. And I love Harley. I love all motorcycles. I love the motorcycle community, but obviously I'm Harley centric because that's what I own. I don't want the company to fail. I'm a huge tech guy. I spend a lot of time, and let me say up front that when we talk about YouTube videos, guys, and people don't get cable, people don't have phone lines anymore, people aren't getting cable. Okay, YouTube, one YouTube video on a lot of channels will get more than an episode of Sons of Anarchy, and that was one of the most popular FX network shows ever to air. They triple, quadruple the numbers. Okay, the power of YouTube. Google's the number one search engine. YouTube is the number two because Google owns YouTube. People don't realize that YouTube is a search engine beast, and they put that aside, which is unfortunate for them. You've got kids. Okay, my kids, my wife, 8, 13, my daughters, they don't watch regular network TV. Okay, they don't watch that. They do go to movies now and then, of course. There's some of that. They are watching YouTube when they wake up, while they're relaxing, at night before they go to bed. They have their YouTube channels. They have their influencers they follow. I listen closely all the time to my daughter because she'll come up to me and say, "Dad, I need to try one of these." I go, one of your YouTubers told you that, huh? And she admits it. Yes. Okay. And that's a power that has to be used correctly too. So, you got to make sure what channels you're watching and things like that. But that's powerful. It's billions of dollars that YouTube channels are recommending products. The reason people, trust in that is because it's a community like the community we've built here, and you learn to know, like, and trust a particular individual and or channel. And so you trust that they're using it, they're doing it. I'm going to get to this. So I'm a huge tech guy. I have to follow because I got to get all kinds of podcast gear and film gear, and I'm always trying to up my documentary game and all that kind of stuff. So I'm constantly in drones and cameras and lenses and sensors, and I have to binge watch that kind of stuff so I can stay up on the tech computers, Apple, all that kind of stuff. Harley is missing the frickin' boat. They are 10 years behind. And I said that on the YouTube video. Their marketing department needs to pull their head out of their butt. I don't know what school they went to because it's old. It's old school. They need to get young, new crew in there. Their YouTube channel sucks. The reason it sucks is their videos are overproduced and they lack content. And that's typical of what a corporate company like that says. We need a YouTube channel, but they don't ask smart people on how to make their YouTube channel. They say, let's spend $1 million to make a 1.5 minute video to show glory shots of our motorcycle, but let's not tell our audience a fucking thing about the motorcycle. No, you know where the people come to learn about the motorcycle? They come to this channel and they come to other channels because Harley doesn't tell them shit about the boombox. They don't tell them shit about the motorcycle. It's all about a glory shot and overproducing. Those times are gone. So you have companies, and this is what I'm getting at. You have DJI. Okay, if you don't know who they are the Apple of the drone industry. They absolutely dominate the drone market. Nobody can touch them, okay? Apple, same thing. Okay. They own the smartphone market as far as sales and all that kind of stuff. Okay. I know there's Android and all that. We're not going to get into that subject, but if you look at that, Apple's just a massive, massive company. All right. And then you have people like the company Samsung, which do make a lot of Android phones. Okay. These companies, Harley needs to look at this kind of marketing. And again, I said up front, even in my YouTube video, I'm not saying this because I expect Harley to reach out to me and all of a sudden, I doubt they even watch the channel. That's not the point, okay? It's not the point that I'm begging for them to give me a motorcycle and stuff. This channel's going to go on with or without Harley, okay? I don't absolutely need Harley. I'm just saying, if they want to reach their core audience, they would be on this channel, okay? Because their core audience is here. It's live right now. It's in the chat, and it's in the podcast, and it's on the YouTube channel with that video with over 600 comments in 6 days with people pissed off at Harley. If they would read those comments alone, they could learn a whole bunch about what concerns people and what people think about their company. So DJI, Apple, Samsung, they all, when they have I'm just going to use one example recently. So over a week ago, DJI came out with the Mavic 2 Pro. I'm not going to get into that because you may not be a drone person, okay? Nonetheless, what they're doing and what these other companies are doing is DJI, before it was released, created excitement, and they got it in the hands of the biggest YouTube influencers for that product, the reviewers. And I know all the channels because I'm subscribed to them, okay? They gave that drone to those people. They invited those people months ago to their event, unveiling and talking about it. They didn't invite Hollywood people. They didn't invite singers. Nobody gives a shit about Hollywood anymore. Hollywood is dying, okay? People, we already told you, people are here on YouTube. They are not TV. Yeah, they're even TV. Those commercials don't work anymore. It's just like podcasts. Okay, you get on a traditional radio, you get on traditional TV, you're going to get a mattress commercial. You may or may not care about a mattress. When you come to a YouTube channel that is dedicated to giving you what you want, you're going to get a relative content. Exactly. Yes. And you're going to get motorcycle commercials, of course. You're going to get motorcycle content. You're here. That's what you're going to get. That old way of marketing is dying. Old traditional radio is dying. Back to my point. DJI gives them the drone and they invite them to the event. And of course, they're all YouTubing about it and they're putting it on podcasts and all this kind of stuff. And it's drawing excitement to the audience, that they know where their audience is. They know who's going to buy this new drone. It's me, okay? They know where I am. They know where the audience is. Then they give it to the people with a gag order and say, you can't unbox it and you can't use it until the day we release it. And then we want you to have a video out within 48 hours. So all of a sudden, DJI, of course, the thing about DJI is they do overproduced videos too, but it's okay because that's what corporate does. It's relevant and it's cool, but they're not just doing that. They're still giving away their product. Exactly. They're still giving away their product. Yeah. And so they give it to all these people to review. All these people put out these tech rushed videos. Bam. All of a sudden, YouTube, snap. All my subscriptions are popping up. New DJI Mavic Pro. They absolutely
best clickbait ever.
Oh, they saturated the fucking market and it was beautiful. And the people they gave it to did great videos because they are influencers and they do good videos and people relate to that. And so all of a sudden you had this massive marketing campaign, 2018 style. And that is how these companies, these smart companies are doing it now. They are going to podcasts. Zero 3D, they came to a podcast. Rick Rack, they came to a podcast. They come to a YouTube channel because they know that not only is it cheaper to advertise there, it's where their audience is. It's also way more effective. Last year, or it was the year before, I can't remember. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to get off my rant. Is this a good rant? Pump me up. Rant on. This is Matt's style right here on his podcast. Okay, so I get in my rants too. Oh God, yeah. Where was I going with this, Matt? Where was I going? Oh no,
it's all right. Keep going. Keep going.
I had a point. So I lost it, dude. I freaking lost it.
It's okay. You know what? I'm gonna kind of
piggyback. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Here's the thing. Those are all great points. Okay, but I think it'd be really good if we focus on something that shows why it's relevant, everything you just said, okay? Because what happens when you don't do this? What happens when you don't evolve, right? And yeah, I'm not trying to be too cliche, evolve or die, all these corporate freaking slogans. I'm going to say this right now. How old are your girls, Ryan, again?
8 and 13.
8 and 13. Does your 8-year-old still like products like toys or dolls or anything else like that?
Big time, bro.
Big time. And she still knows when the latest and greatest ones come out, correct?
Absolutely.
When was the last time you set foot in a Toys R Us?
I didn't. We didn't.
And where is Toys R Us right now?
Well, they're going out of business here. Are they going out of business globally?
They're already gone.
Okay.
They're done.
Because they went out of business here in Yakima.
Now, here's the thing. But yet your daughter still knows about toys? There's no Toys R Us. How does she know about toys if there's no Toys R Us? That's the way we've always done it.
Right.
Famous last freaking words. My daughter, her treat, her I'll do my homework, her everything. She's 7 going on 8 is YouTube Kids. She lives for YouTube Kids. You know what she watches? Aside from how to make slime out of everything I have in my cupboards.
Yeah,
okay,
usually you're there too. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Yep.
I have no shaving cream left. Okay. This was all Drive Shave right here. So here's the thing. She watches toy reviews constantly. Toy reviews. Daddy, I got to have this. Daddy, I got to have that. I haven't stepped foot in a toy store, looked at a toy catalog since 3 Christmases ago. You know why? Because she knows everything she wants. She's watching the content. She knows how to navigate this better than I do to find the content that she wants to the relevant toys that she needs. And guess what? Toys R Us, where's their YouTube channel? Where's what they do? How did they innovate? They didn't, and they died. Period. Now, I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen to Harley, but this is a perfect example of a very, 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 very large, relevant, corporate, thousands of employees shut down and gone like that because they decided not to innovate. Now, that's my freaking rant on that because I'm telling you, there's so many people that do not look at Toys R Us is such a perfect example of this. I guarantee you, Lego's a huge, they're like number 1 YouTuber, aren't they? Lego?
Yeah,
they're
right.
like a number 1 YouTuber.
They've got, yeah.
Toys R Us went out of business. They didn't because guess what? Lego didn't stop moving.
Right.
They adapted. Hello, Harley. Hello. Is this thing on? I'm telling you, because this is marketing 101. This is basic shit. And it drives me nuts because I don't have some doctrine or some bullshit, but I it's sad. If I can figure this crap out, there's got to be somebody over there that's getting paid way too freaking much. That's all I got to say. Yeah, and I love you, Harley. I do.
We do. That's why we're passionate about it because we so want you to do the right thing. We want you to connect with your core audience. We're trying, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And
Jeffrey the giraffe is sleeping on their couch and they're not taking a hint. Don't let what happened to you happen to me happen to you, bruh. And they're not listening, man. They're still doing the drugs. Nice, dude.
And I still got part of my rant because I remember what I was going to talk about. But I just wanted to say, guys, real quick, Big Daddy Kane wanted me to mention this on the podcast tonight. I'm not sure if he's in the live chat or not, but we lost a ton of inventory in the fire in December. You guys remember we lost 100% of our inventory and we weren't insured. Not to bring that up. We are rebuilding because of you guys and your support. We had just got these in before that fire, if you guys remember, and they all burnt to the ground. And so we finally, because money was tight, we finally were able to add these back in. And these are if you're watching in podcast format later, they are available in the store right now. And these are our law-abiding biker hats. They're a snapback, but they're really stylish. On the back, they have the arcing law-abiding biker. We're going to send you one of these, Matt, for being on here.
Oh, sweet.
And on the front, it's got the law-abiding biker. It's black on the front. And of course, the bill's black. And then the back mesh part, breathable and gray. They actually are. I'm not just saying that. They are actually really high quality hats, really stiff brim. You can curve if you're into that, or you can wear it like a moron like me backwards.
So it's either stiff or curved.
Stiff or curved, bro. That's what happens when you're 45, man. It's one or the other. There's no in between, bro.
The other guys were on here to catch on to that. I had to take their place real quick.
Right. Yeah.
One of them would have picked up on it.
You wake up with it stiff and you go to bed with it. I don't know, dude. But
you got to keep it shape.
Exactly. And I was going to put these on, dude. I was going to put see, when I started my rant, I'm putting my PBR because I get sweaty when I rant. So here's the other part of my rant. So what I was going to say is what they did back in 2018 or 17 or 16. I think it was 17. You all know the incident. So Harley, again, this is their complete failure. And again, I just think it's because they have a marketing. They need to hire somebody that's really cutting edge, like a millennial. They need to hire some millennials, really, because millennials would say everything me and Matt only know a lot of this stuff because obviously we do a lot of this kind of stuff. They would lead them down the right path. But they went out and they had all these new Harleys. And if you guys remember this absolute fucking train wreck is what it was. And they grabbed these brand new motorcycles and they did these Facebook Lives.
I'm leaving.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're not leaving, dude. You're not leaving. Get yours on, dude.
I have mine. Mine's over there full of sweat. I took it off.
Matt can see me with my PBR and the audience can see me with my PBR. Awesome. I'm ready to just fight. And they gave these brand new bikes to I don't remember all the names, but they gave one to
Aquaman.
Aquaman. Yeah. What's his name, dude?
I don't know. Juice Boy.
What's that other?
What's his name? Human growth hormone guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
Really cool. He played whatever Targaryen on Game of Thrones. Huge guy. Honestly, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, Game of Thrones guy.
Yeah, really cool guy. He was a wrestler, right? Was he a wrestler?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know much about him.
I'm full of shit. I don't know. But really, he is a cool guy, but he's Hollywood and he's a freaking millionaire. And he starts spray painting the damn motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
The moment they gave it to him. He started to, I like it better this
with a rattle
way.
can.
Yeah, I'm a rattle can spray paint this shit. I like it better this way. It looks cool. It's brand new. You know what that's like?
He wasn't excited about it, dude. It showed.
Here's what that is like. It's not even just like taking a drink in front of an alcoholic. Here's what it's like. You have a big old huge extra large Maui Zowie extra cheese pizza from Round Table, extra garlic. And you're sitting in front of a couple homeless guys. You sniff your pizza. You kind of dip your hand in it, you lick your finger, and you go, nah, I don't even want this now. And you throw it in the fucking trash right in front of them.
Right.
Harley needs to understand that was a huge fuck you to everybody else.
It was.
And this guy, I don't knock him. He's a cool actor. He's great. Honestly, I'm a fan. But to take a rattle, he gets a free Harley-Davidson, and he takes a rattle can and starts spraying it.
Right.
You know what?
But let's say he hadn't did that. Nobody gives a flying. That is old. That is so 30 years ago. 30 years ago, you could use Hollywood, and before YouTube, before people actually had communities like this, before people connected, that was your only outlet. And so you'd look and you go, okay, so-and-so got a Harley. He backs Harley. It must be a good bike. Nobody gives a flying shit because they know he doesn't even ride Harleys. He may have one as a garage as a novelty item. They gave one to Kurt Sutter, who didn't even get out of his fucking pajamas, and he came out and sat on it with his dog, and he's like, yeah, flip-flops. Oh, this is cool, guys. It was so embarrassing for Harley, and I think they learned a lesson because they didn't do it this year. I think they learned a lesson that those people don't give a fuck about them. They are not going to sell motorcycles for them. In fact, they did a detriment because the Harley community, we went apeshit about it. And because we were like, really? All those bikes should have went elsewhere, not to Hollywood, you know. And Harley does do a lot of good things too. They give bikes to veterans and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to just dog Harley. I am trying to be, careful.
They do a lot of great things right.
They do, but they did. That was just like the biggest marketing failure that I've seen any company do ever. And that pissed a lot of people off.
Kurt Sutter came out like, what's the stock piece of shit doing on my set? Oh, never mind. Crap. This is a giveaway.
Yeah, exactly. He probably hasn't ridden that thing once, if he even kept it, dude. These aren't bikers. This channel is bikers, okay? And that's the difference. And that is so, again, 30 years old marketing. And so my advice, if Harley ever hears this or the YouTube video, and I know Matt too, is you need to really, and I know Matt will have some advice too, you need to get out. It's like us when we ride our cross-country trip. We met up with patrons. We had a day event. It was a bikers connecting with bikers. Very, very special. Some of the guys in the chat were there. That is the community these days. It's much more real than it used to be. Although I know that's a funny contradictory thing because we're here on YouTube and we're connecting in chat and patron and all that kind of stuff, but it's much more personal and it's much more real than how we used to do it with TV and Hollywood. We do have these kind of meetups going on, and it's just this one-on-one. You don't get to do this with, somebody from Hollywood. You don't get to chat with them in a live chat and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And again, no comparison to Hollywood here. I'm just saying it's a different type of community. It's a different type of media where we can just connect with each other, and I can have Matt pass on remotely the technology is what has allowed this. The technology has allowed this kind of thing, and Harley is not using the technology correctly. Right. Is my point. What say you on some of that?
Well, and I think it's really important to really, aside from my Toys R Us point, I think it's really important to paint a good picture on why, just in case anybody worth a damn is listening, and in general, and you can let me know if some of these things are correct, Ryan. Basically, why it's important to adopt this influencer type model. Okay, so I think I found, and this is what I have in my notes, and you can correct me if you know different, but the average YouTube sponsorship / ad costs between 2 cents and 10 cents per click, depending on how famous the channel is.
Say that again.
2 cents to 10 cents.
Correct. We call it pennies on the click, but people don't realize that. And I've said it before. AdSense is not how we support this platform. It helps, but it's a small piece. Yeah. And
obviously someone with 100 million subscribers or views or view time or whatever is going to get the 10 cents per click.
Right.
And most people that are getting paid for it are going to get the 2 cents per click. But the reason I bring that up.
2 cents.
Well, the reason I'm bringing that up, because we were talking about and it was a good segue into it because you brought up the giveaway, the bikes and things like that. That's a good idea. They just got to watch who they're giving it to. So let's just say at 1.5 million views, right? That's anywhere between $30,000 and $150,000 in sponsorship cost, right? If you were to sponsor, right? So not to mention the costs of the advertising, marketing expenses, such as creating, say, like a commercial that plays or online ad page content. So what I'm getting at is this means that by taking the starting cost of the 3 new 2019 Street models alone, which the average cost between the 3 of them is $7,732.34.
Dang, dude, you're on fire.
Harley could give away literally 2 to 19 street motorcycles to the top YouTube influencers for less than it would cost for ads alone.
Dude.
Right? Alone.
You're brilliant.
Alone.
See, I'm so glad you brought that dynamic.
Yeah, so what would happen if everyone's favorite YouTuber was just handed it, and even if they didn't fucking ride, okay? This is where my rant comes in. What would happen if everyone's favorite YouTuber, right, and they looked at the demographic, who watched, blah, 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 were just handed a brand new Harley-Davidson, and they made a video about it? Seriously, if their average videos were 1 to 1.5 million views, how much advertising exposure did you just get for only the price of the bike, the shipping, and the account manager salary hours to manage that whole process?
Right.
Wake the fuck up, Harley.
Dude, nice points, man. And that's what I'm saying. I think I said it earlier is, the cost of that kind of marketing is way, way more effective and way less.
It's cheaper.
That's why DJI and Apple they're bending over backwards to give people stuff. I mean, and again, I hope everybody realizes that the point of this wasn't that I think Ryan Erlacher and Law Abiding Bikers should be given free Harleys and stuff. That's beside the point. Like I said,
Ryan does not speak for Matt.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for you guys, regardless of what Harley thinks of us, because we're the real deal, real channel here, guys, and we're gonna,
again,
Harley's never given me shit, and they continue to not give me shit or care about us. So, and we're going on 5.5 years. Clearly, we don't absolutely need Harley for that. I'm just saying it would be nice. And my point on that, Matt, as we wind it down here, is, this is what I'm talking about them losing their core audience. And let's wrap it up with some of this. It's actually a good segue into what we're going to talk about here. So I get it. We're talking about marketing and losing the core customers. This is one of the reasons that they're losing the core customers, is pulling their Hollywood stunt that they did. And by not marketing appropriately, they really are. If you look at the comments on that video I did, the overview, by and far, people agree that they don't feel like Harley gives a shit about us anymore. And I know Harley's doing their best to change and get with the times. And I know they're going after, those different demographics. That's good. They need to do that. And I support Harley in that endeavor. I absolutely back them, and they need to do that. However, when your train is going full steam ahead on the tracks after those demographics, you're running over all of us that are still here. And yes, over time we may die off, but we're still here and we're still buying your products. And if you isolate us and your core market, Harley, that is where the company could really fail. Take on your new endeavors and do all that, but cater to the people that are current. You're hoping those people that you're marketing to will be future money, and that's great because companies need to do that. But right now, you need to never remember who's feeding you, and this is the community right here, just one community of many that is feeding you. And that was one of my points, Matt. What say you?
Well, I think that we're missing one big piece of this, and I think that so is Harley and so is everybody else, because I think everyone's real caught up on the innovation, the millennials, everything. If you look at a lot of those comments, that's what it's about. Here's the thing. These new innovative models are a season. It's going to last 8, 10 years, whatever. It's not that it shouldn't be done, but it's not the saving grace. Not the same. And this is, and I'm going to tell you why. And this will be my last thing. Okay. Is my question I was asking myself as I was diving into all this research is newer innovative models really what the next generation wants? And I'm going to go back to the voicemail the 19-year-old left. That's why I love that he left this, because here's the thing. Used motorcycle sales are up. The base of used bike sales is nearly 2.5 times larger than the newer Harley-Davidson bikes year over year and growing. Well, why is that? So when I was diving into this research, a lot of people said, well, we let somebody else do the depreciation, and I completely understand that model, and there's a lot of low mileage hogs out there. So I asked myself, well, does that mean the younger generation? Because here's what's happening. Everyone, it's the innovation because millennials only prefer bobbed out bikes and they only prefer street bikes. Is it that they really prefer that, or is it that what all they can afford? So here's what I started diving into. I found that it's not what they prefer. It's not. Just like the 19-year-old left, that's going into law enforcement and everything else, that he left a voicemail saying that if he could afford a Harley, he would get it hand over fist, right? This is the thing. The newer models, this means that it's Harley. So I started asking myself, is Harley failing by focusing on the newer models being the end-all, save-all? I think so. Because it needs to be a balance. Everything you just said, Ryan, because the lifestyle and the core audience is what the younger generation is going after, because they're the ones buying these used bikes. They're the ones buying and that's what no one else has really looked into. And I had to really dive for those statistics. Here's the thing. This new generation is made up of deal finders and online shoppers. Amazon, Carvana, CarMax, TrueCar, Carfax, Wish, RumbleOn, etc. Right? So it's no wonder why we're seeing this younger generation that we just think wants sport bikes and all this other stuff. It's not that. They just want a better deal. Imagine if Harley had something like Carvana. You know what that is? The damn vending machine.
I am not familiar with that at all, Matt.
Oh my gosh. Look up Carvana. So here's what it is. You go in your app on your phone or whatever, you find a Carvana. It's a gigantic car dealer where all these cars are behind glass. You get this big old coin. You drop it in, right? Because you already did the financing and stuff online. And this vending machine spits out a car.
Holy shit, dude. No, yeah. I don't know. I hadn't heard of that. That's crazy,
or you can get it delivered right to your house, right? That's it's those types of things that Harley needs to get a hold of. I don't think that the new generation doesn't want a Street Glide Special or a CVO or a Street Bob or anything else like that. I just think they can't afford it.
Yeah,
and it's proven with the used bike market. It's proven. One more thing, Ryan. I swear I will lock it up.
No, don't lock it up. Keep going, dude.
There was an example that I thought was kind of a fun fact. I have in my notes as miscellaneous and fun facts, right? So Morgan Stanley analysis, Kimberly Greenberg told Business Insider, right? She says, I think we've got a significant psychological scar from the Great Recession. 1 in every 5 households at the time were severely negative impacted by those events. And if you think about the children that were in that house and how the length and the depth of the recession really impacted people, I think that you would have an entire generation with permanently changed spending habits. This just goes in and feeds into my point of the new generation, the Amazon, the Carvana, the CarMax, the TrueCar, the Carfax, the Wish, the Rumbles, the online, whatever deal apps, the things like the Black Friday online, what they call it, Manic Monday or online Cyber Monday or whatever. This is what people are doing now, right? Doesn't mean they don't want a Harley. It just means they want a deal. So there's all those things that take in consideration, and that's kind of where I'm going to leave it, other than the fact that I really don't like the electric bike.
We could go right into that, dude. But go ahead.
That's it for me. I just think it's important to look at I think that Harley and everybody else is not looking at the used motorcycle market enough. And in fact, if I had the money to do it, I would start a used motorcycle dealership. I believe in it that much.
Nice.
I believe in it that much. I would buy like salvaged bikes. I would buy total, but I don't give a shit. I'd fix them up and I'd sell them to people who are looking for a deal. Yep. I flip bikes all the time. I put them on Craigslist. It's wonderful. I love doing it.
Dude, yeah. Nice. Good insight, dude. Now, we're going to come back real quick with some final thoughts. Now, we love our patrons. We would love to have you as a patron member so that we can get to know you, so you can be more involved and you can get in that private Facebook group. But hey, if you can't become a patron for whatever reason, we never balk at a flat donation. That's right. We want to thank Michael Mentier of Chino, California, Edgardo Putez of Pertus of location unknown, Grant Doral of Sydney, Australia. Shout out Australia. Substantial donation. Skip Rouse, Carl Bohe of Lynbrook, New York, and George Meyer of Golden Valley, Arizona. lawabidingbiker.com/donate is how they did that. Puts a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we can keep this show heading on down the road. And you hear those, Matt passed those names and the patrons we thank from all over the frickin' world. That is the community that Harley is missing, because we have ears and eyes and people willing to support us all over the freaking world. And that is the power of what's going on that they are missing out on. So as we wrap it up here, we have Popeye. This chat's been amazing. And I'm so sorry, guys. I've been trying to monitor it and respond to you guys and listen to Matt so I can stay in the conversation as much as possible. I don't have anybody else in the studio like usual helping me on that, but Popeye is in there. And Popeye is going to be a guest host, and he's got somebody coming in soon we're going to have awesome. It's going to be a 2-part series, and I'm looking forward to having them in the studio. It's going to be all about, he just rode through Alaska, the Yukon, and the Northwest Territories. And it's going to be an education for me because I don't know shit about it. And I'm just going to ask a lot of questions and, of course, drink beer while I'm asking the questions. But super excited that Popeye kind of, he's the one that spearheaded that, I should say. And I can't wait to meet his friend, and you guys will get to know him too. That will probably be a live event. I'm trying to do as many as we can live for you paying patron members, because we want to give you guys benefits. And so, yeah, awesome comments, some awesome conversation, kind of in line with what we're saying. So, Matt Pass, let's finish up with some final thoughts. So, because I think we've hit a lot of good points. I think it's been a good episode, but I guess the last question I would pose to both of us is some key points on what Harley can do better to connect with their core audience. And I'm just going to say a couple, and then you can say a couple, and we will go out of here with that, because we could dive deeper into millennials and all that kind of stuff. And we're already, me and you could talk forever. And by the time we got done, it would be 1:00 in the morning. We'd have 0 patrons in the live chat, dude. And so me and Matt love talking about this stuff, and he's so passionate. Like I love his passion. So I would say this, Harley, the main thing that you can do, and we've already discussed a little bit, there's a lot of different things you can do, but I would really, and Hardy does some good things. They try to do the Hogs and Dogs events at the local dealerships, but that's kind of at a dealership, level. It's local. That's good. That's community. I really think the number one, if I had one thing to pick, and then I'm going to leave it alone. If I had one thing to pick, you guys can probably guess it, is I would strongly encourage you to look very hard at the current YouTube channels and the current podcasts, at least. And I know those are both that we do that, but again, I think that that is where your community is. And if you want people to feel not disconnected, your current core audience, I think if you show goodwill towards the people like right here or elsewhere that are actually riding your products day to day. I'm a police motorcycle officer. A lot of you know I ride a Harley-Davidson every day at work. Who knows Harleys and what they can handle better in the extreme conditions we ride them in. There's other people that do other careers. There's other people that ride a lot or are retired and ride every day. Those are your people that really know your product. And goodwill gestures to reach out to those influencers and show their very tight communities that you do actually care about them. There's a lot of different ways you can do that, which I'm not going to get into, but if you show goodwill gestures to your influence marketers and that core audience, and they can relate that you're showing goodwill and that you're really caring about them and what they think, and you have those open avenues of communication with your influencers, and look at the comments like on that YouTube video and really dial in what your audience is frustrated with, what they're happy with, I think you could learn a whole bunch of things, and you could bring back what you're currently losing based on a lot of the comments is you're losing the trust and the dedication to the brand. It's not critical yet, but I think it's going to become critical if you continue on the path you're on. I'm done. Take them off. I'm done, Matt. I'm done.
That's a rant. Hey,
what are these called? These sweatbands. Yeah. Sweatbands. Wristbands.
Yeah. Did this microphone go out? Because I had a little bit of technical issue on my side. Do I sound different?
No, you sound great.
Okay.
Still, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
You look great too still. Your camera's still working.
Okay, good. Yeah. It was weird. It went a little digitalized and stuff there. But I think that's where it's at. I think I would say do not put all of your eggs in one basket just like they did with not being innovative enough. I don't think they should be focused too much on the innovations. I think that they need to concentrate more on their marketing, more on getting with the times, basically living into now. Really take a good look at Toys R Us, at your used bike, basically look at your used bike market and the ages of the people that are buying a used bike, qualifying for the used bikes, or desiring those used bikes, and why they're desiring those used bikes. I think they're gonna find out that that's where the younger generation is going. They still want a Harley-Davidson. It's not that they prefer the sport models. It's not that they want an electric motorcycle. Okay, that's not what it is. I just think that they should really take a 20,000 foot view and really look at it and identify it. And obviously the marketing, I think that's the biggest thing, is the marketing. They need to live into now and get with the influencers and things like that. Yep.
Well said. To wrap up some comments that are going on there, because I love involving the community. That's what we do here, and I love hearing from the community. David Schwartz, of course, from Israel, says, when was the last time you heard a kid say, when I grow up, I'm going to get a Honda? Yeah, good point. I'm just scrolling through here before we get out of here. Make sure and I know there's a lot of comments, and you guys are just awesome for being in here. I'm glad Popeye jumped in there. We got Chris Lezak, Gary Jackson. Sorry if I'm Craig Cloak. Yeah, awesome guys. I know that we had a lot of information here, but I think that it was valid information, and I think a lot of you probably agree. And if you're listening in podcast format at a later time, I think you guys can always leave comments on the website, lawabidingbiker.com/ whatever episode this number is, or reach out to us. We always like hearing what you guys say, and those website comments are really cool too. But got a lot covered, Matt, and I thank you so much for being here, man. So we are going to send you one of these Matt Pass. Hey, do you have we're going to send him one of these awesome mesh back awesome caps, because you don't have one of these. I know I've sent you some stuff in the past. Also, do you have for your bike, do you have a Cruise Tools RTH3 kit?
I do not.
Well, damn it, you do now. So we'll send it. Have you changed addresses? Is your Patreon account up to date?
I will have to recheck it.
Okay, I'll email you. I'll just email you, bro, because we have a thread. We have an email thread going, and make sure I get that stuff down to you, and maybe you can throw in a bottle of Bug Slide for you, bro. We try to take care of you because you're taking an evening away from your family. And make sure you check out his podcast, guys. You can see how passionate he is about motorcycle stuff. He's just as passionate about the other his workout industry and the gym and all that kind of stuff.
Available on Android and iTunes.
Nice
platforms, thegymrant.com. And the wife keeps bugging me. I didn't announce it on a lot of events. We found out what we were having.
Oh,
we're having a baby boy.
Nice, dude. A little Matt Pass, dude. That's scary.
I just hope this doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Hey, next time you're after he's born, bro, congrats on that, by the way. That's fucking awesome.
Thank you.
You'll have to give us a shot of him next time I bring you on Google Hangouts. I'd like to do more of these live with the proper subject matter. I think you're just an awesome resource and a great co-host, guys. So there you go, guys. Let's see. Let's do a call to action, guys. Don't forget, we have our app. If you guys didn't realize, lawabidingbiker.com/app for Android or iOS, and it's free. It's the easiest way to listen. If you just go to that lawabidingbiker.com/app, you can get hooked up. Google is doing some different things. Android's doing some different things. They got Google Podcasts now out.
You do? I'm on there?
Yeah, you are on there. You heard about that too. And so Android's trying to get in the podcast game because iOS kind of owns it right now, and they're trying to do a lot better job at letting Android users know about the different podcasts and stuff. So anyways, that's all on that link I gave you. Whatever device you're on, all the buttons are right there, and you can just get hooked up with the app. And of course, whatever you're on, whatever you're listening on, whether it's iTunes or Stitcher Radio, please, it's free, guys. If you can't support us financially, it's free to rate us, guys. Give us a nice, big, fat 5-star rating. It helps bump us up in the ratings so more bikers around the world can find us and join this thing that we call the Biker Revolution. Oh, thank you guys in chat. David Schwartz sums it up there, or at the very last comment, says great content. We appreciate that because a lot of work goes into this kind of episode. A lot of research. Matt passed it. A lot of research I did. A lot of show notes. Our time, the tech, getting the tech set up. It takes a lot, guys, but we do it because we love you. There you go.